Oh, is it working? Is it working? Excellent. Start recording. Excellent. Excellent. Let's see. How do I see? Sorry, I've got this. I've only got one monitor. So I'm trying. Oh, I'm live. Okay. One monitor. We're behind the scenes. Cheers. How can I find the chat on like the app or something? Live. Is it like a yo? What is happening? What is happening? Is there not a like a? Maybe I can just go stream myself. Maybe I can say, hey, look, there I am. But the chat is, oh, wait, yeah. Don't forget, you're a standard moderator. Thank you. Is there a way to like, oh, yeah, there's the chat. It's ultra tiny. Hello, Andy Dev. Wait, where's, I can't forget. I forget. Okay, Daisy Trains. I mean, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. I found out a way to put a daisy in the visualizer. How are we? How is everybody? Happy New Year and all that. Man, we're a little bit behind the eight ball. I can't remember when the last stream was. Oh yeah, you can change presets. Bum 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 bum. The new place, well, it's actually good. The main thing is we have fast internet. Yeah, we've been in an ongoing situation that has led to a lot of stuff. Continuing the Odin escapade. We'll get to all of that. Yeah, it's been a big start to the year. In fact, the end of last year, it was all just a big mission, and like everything kind of didn't work out, and then we ended up. So we're staying. I moved back to Auckland, and basically we're in a place. We got a place, and it's nice, and there's internet, and our baby is due in 4 weeks, or 28 days or something. So yeah, just doing a little quick stream to get back into the swing of things. We'll see how we go. How's everybody's new year going? How was the end of the year, beginning of the new year? Yeah, you know. We didn't do, I can't even remember New Year's. I think we watched Stranger Things. But yeah, Lou's kind of, she's still working up north for a few more weeks, so she's kind of going to be splitting her time between here and up north. So this is all stuff that no one asked about, but you know, I thought I'd tell you anyway. And yeah, just oh man, moving house and doing all the things and trying to work and blah blah. So the streams and all the fun stuff sort of got pushed to the back a little bit. It's buffering a lot. Are we buffering? Let me have a look. Error, you need to change, what does it say? Error, you need to change the video resolution, which is not supported. The expected video resolution is, what does that mean? What did it? Poor. It says poor. Stream settings. What is this? What does that mean? What do I... Currently, why was it expecting 1920? I thought I used to stream in... I guess I can't change this now, eh? Video... I thought we were doing a thingamabob. It says poor. Error. Why so error-y? You need to change the video resolution. Which is, what does this mean, this configuration? Like, that's a strange error message. Yeah, we're rescaling to 2.5K. Does YouTube not want me to do that? So this isn't the fun part of the stream. Stream health, poor. You need to change the video resolution. Seems to be working. Well, I can't do much about it unless I stop the stream. So I'll just keep streaming. Hey, Jesse the fish. It's giving these like ads instead of the other ones. Oh, there I am. We'll go back to our fun thing. Yeah, we'll count this as a test stream. I only see black screen chat camp. Yeah. We're in the back end. We're in the back end of the back end. Custom Daisy visualizer. Oh wait. Oh yeah, no, actually there is no. My bad, yeah. I didn't turn on the desktop. Okay, let's get it. How about that? Is that better? Yes. Oh my gosh, all this time wasted. Spent. Sick today. That is not cool, man. Yeah, I got COVID on like January 2nd. And that was like, we had a week off and I spent the whole week in bed. It was awesome. It's been a fun time, I tell you what. So this thing here is the original visualizer from here. Visualization, start stop plugin. So this is the visualizer from like the 90s called Milk Drop. And then this is like someone's modernified it. And it's running at like, I don't know, 120 frames or whatever the screen refresh is. And it just reacts to any audio that's on your PC. Pretty cool. Yo, how's it going? It's good to be back. It's good to see you guys. Yeah, shaderinis. They're so cool. I'm like, these shaders, a lot of these shaders come from like the 90s. Like, man, these visualizer artists had some major flex. Where's chili beans? Yeah, so we're in a new place. Got it set up. Have been chipping away at the ordinary, right, over this time. So it hasn't stalled. It's not completely dead. Fractals parameterized with FFT data. Yes. But it looks so, some of them look so cool. Look at that. Epoch. What are these? These are all real old beats. Hello. Stupendous. Yeah, for a while there I was just saying we're just going to work on the thing. Streaming's not an option really in the countryside. FFT, yeah. I watch videos on FFT. I'm like, Wow, cool, man. Close. I didn't understand that. This is where we kind of, in the last stream, we were kind of talking about, like, why are we rewriting in Odin? What's happening? I started making a video about it, and then, yeah, life has just been mega lately. But hopefully now, like, we're here. Lou's going to finish up work, and then we're going to have a newborn, which is going to mean we're going to be pretty busy, but at the same time, we're going to be sort of, she gets time off work, so we're going to be here, a little baby, and we'll be working, streaming, hopefully. I mean, you know, you got to make time. Even today is like a sort of, yeah, free time is going to be gone burgers. I'm going to be like cooking and cleaning and doing all the things. And working, but at least working from home. I've been doing stuff. Actually did a little foray into Linux for a little bit. Installed Linux on the other PC and like gave it a go, and actually got daisy chains running on there, and it was pretty cool. What happens when we build the game? Where are we at? Oh yes, see, actually, yeah, it's actually, I can't even remember where it was on the last stream, where we were at and what we were doing. I think it was fairly basic. Maybe we were just like, we didn't even have a game or anything. So there's no renderer currently, but instead of like focusing on the renderer, I was like, I'm gonna just build out as much of the prototype as I can and do it with debug objects, which is kind of fun. So like building a lot more of the system stuff, tooling stuff, a lot of the train things. I've been doing a lot of like train logic stuff, and just trying to like aim for like playability, test the actual game out. No Raylab, no, there's no Raylab. This is all Odin. This is just raw Odin, pretty much. The only libraries, the only thing that doesn't come actually bundled with Odin is IamGUI, and then otherwise we're using where's models, we're using CGLTF, which is part of the Odin library, and OpenGL, which is part of the thing, and then it's got its own linear algebra library, which is nice. It's got its own operating system stuff. Yeah, so we're pretty raw. Wrote a serializer. So yeah, so anyway, it doesn't look like much. But last time I think we yeah, okay, so the status is there was this at the end of sort of streaming last year, we were in C++ and we had made the renderer quite, you know, functional, and the game was kind of working. We had lots of sort of stuff happening, but a lot of it was messy and I had to take time off to move country, and when I look back at it, I was like, man, this is a mess. So I lost heart and I was going to give up on it, but I thought I'd just mess around with some Odin, like playing around in Odin. And then turned out like, oh, writing it a second time is actually like a good thing to do for this project, because, you know, it fixed so many problems and simplified so many things. Odin is just so much more concise to work with. All this, like, all these cool bit set things and rules and all this stuff. Anyway. So basically you can play the game. You can put stations in. Everything's pretty like funky. You can change where they pick up or drop off. You can put the train down. Hopefully, I was playing with it yesterday. Hopefully it didn't break anything. Train pick up cargo, train drop off cargo. But I've kind of leaned in a lot more on like using IMGUI to like create some data stuff, so I can like. Odin is so cool for this printing stuff. You can just print anything, and you know, printing all the grid stuff, printing all the container data for all the containers in the game, where they are, whether they're traveling, and now they track their like travel duration, and you get some currency based on the speed at which you transported the cargo, basically. And then you've got this currency down here. I don't know if you can see that. And then you can upgrade your train and make it faster and add cars. Yeah. So I was testing out this kind of gameplay where, oh yeah, it goes way faster now. Performance up to par. No OOP description. I love Odin. Yeah. Performance is excellent. And also because, I don't know, I think because there's a weird thing, right? And whoa, how many? Yeah, you can go fast, and there's like game speed. You go currently, if I take off VSync, frame time is half a millisecond. So we're at like 1800 frames a second while streaming and recording. Like, I mean, there's not much going on, obviously. There's a thing with C++ and Odin that like. So one of the big differences, and it's not really a difference, but one of the things, like, say in C++ you got like a vector of this here. I've got like a dynamic rail length, a dynamic array, right? Or it's like a vector. And then you create those vectors on the stack or wherever you want in C++, and it just cleans it up with the destructor. But it's not very clear that that's what's happening. I mean, you know, you should know that. Like, oh yeah, the vector creates a thing on the heap, and if it grows, it reallocates and moves the memory around and stuff. But because there is no destructor in Odin, you have to clean up all the dynamic arrays yourself, which is fine. You just delete them or whatever if you're using them. But you can put them on like a temp allocator, and the temp allocator gets cleared at the end of the frame. So you're like, sweet. But you just got to do all this deletion of the global data or whatever at the end of the thing, which is like, oh, I forgot about that. Maybe I've got memory leaks. But then you just make this tracking allocator, and it prints out any memory leaks you've got at the end of the thing. Currently no memory leaks, which is pretty sweet. Is this the Everforest theme? You're the first person I've seen using. It's not actually Everforest. It is a adjusted rain glow grunge with some of my own modifications. Mainly being some cursor selection, comments, types, variables. Yeah. You could group related items into their own arena. Yes, indeed. In fact, this is the kind of thing that, like the serializer, no, not the serializer, the assets. So the assets has an arena and an arena allocator. And so anything that goes through the asset system is put on that arena, and then that arena closes itself down. And it's got its own tracker as well. It's just I haven't gotten to I need to create arenas for different things, like the world lifetime. So that everything loads into the world. like this is one world and it loads. Now there is like an infinite grid. Well, not infinite, it's like to this border up here, but there is one sparse grid now where there used to be like levels. So there's one sparse grid. I don't know how tall it is, like 10 tall or something. And that means there's one set of like, there's one rail network, there's one set of like stations, cargo management. It's all just in this world now. It used to be there was a world, and then in the world there were levels, and all the levels would manage their own rail networks. And I was like, that was just needless complication. So now there's one world, and then if I load level 2, it just clears everything out of that world and loads this stuff. And this is loaded via a custom binary serializer now, which is a lot faster. So the world loaded in load world in 0.5 millisecond, which is cool. It's like a chunk based world loader. How does juggling with lifetimes compare to the usual way of dealing with this sort of things? Do you like it more? At first I was annoyed that I had to like micromanage the lifetimes, but now I'm like, oh, it's good. It's because in C++ there were things that I wasn't cleaning up. And at the end of the program, I don't know, I probably had like a lot of memory unfreed that I'm just like, oh, the application will free it, the operating system will free it when it's finished. But with Odin, like it warns you about every little thing that you don't. And so you develop like a habit of cleaning everything up yourself. So everything is it's a bit more management, but not that much more. Like going in and figuring out the world lifetimes and stuff. Right now there's, in the world, there's world clear. So it goes through and it clears all these things. Clear, a lot of things. Rail grid clear, and this clears the maps and whatever. Free all. Well, there is a world lifetime arena. I don't even remember doing that. Problem with C++ is that you have to care about lifetimes, but it's hidden away. That's exactly my feeling. Is it's not that much more to deal with mentally if it's all there out on the table. But once it's hidden away, then you're like, oh, I'm not thinking about it. Yo, Kettles Dev, what's up? I've gotten into this habit, and I don't know if this is a good pattern. What's another thing? I've used this everywhere, and I don't know if it's a good thing, but so say you want some core data like the trains or the grid, perhaps, yeah. So I want all the cells, but these cells are sparse, but I want them to be compact, right? So I've got, there's an array of data, but then I also maintain a map of some key to get the data, because my theory is if you have a fast data iteration on the cells, if you need to go over them all, but if you need to get one, then you've got a fast lookup to get one. And I've totally gone off, like in the first version there was so many, like everyone had raw pointers to everything, and then everything was built in like constructed arrays that were like a fixed size. Now I'm like, it's dynamic. No one should point directly into these dynamic arrays because they move around, but you can reliably get a cell via its coordinate. So everything is based on like some lookup, and it's in like rail node. I think it's pretty, like a rail node has an ID and a coordinate, and then you can do this rail node get. Oh, is it in this file, or it might be in rail. It's weird that it rail add node, rail remove node, rail get node. Relative pointers. Handles. Yeah, indeed. It's called an index. Totally fine. Totally common. Yeah. I feel like. So this is another cool thing with Odin. So instead of having like function overloading, you've got function. What are they called? Function thingamabobs. So you define a function called railgetNode. Function, a procedure, something or others. Procedure group. A procedure group. And then you give it the different procedures it can look at, and based on the parameters. So I can say railgetNode, and I can get it from quad, from world, from ID. Doesn't work because I didn't make that. And then it will go in and find the right one. So you just go railgetNode and you give it like a coordinate, and it'll go find it. And then you've got multiple returns, and you can incorporate the success or failure into the return type, which is kind of cool. Oh yeah, that's how you cheat the Rust bar checker. Yeah. Well, we're all in it for the hacks. Maybe I'll leave that because I might need that at some point. Anyway, so there's lots of things that were kind of like in the original like rail builder. I need to do something about that. Anyway, there was this thing where like you could build rail. So I've got like just a generates a random world. So you could do things like you could build one there, and then you could build a rail that was like incompatible with it, because there were all these rules, and I just like brute force these rules. Rail node, is it rail node? I also got these rail node constraints, which are like collections and bit sets, and you can just sort of ask these questions. There's some thing where it says, what is okay from here, and you can't go through there, but you can go through there. From here you can build that, and you can build that. You used to be able to do these crazy angle things where you could like go like that, and then you could go straight up, but now you can't do these crazy things. That's a lot of that stuff has been improved, so you can do things like that. I don't know why you'd want to. Oh yeah, actually last time I was on here, was I doing stuff? Now we got junctions. Managed to integrate with IMGUI though. How did you? Oh, hello. I picked up. Oh, I'm glad. Glad you picked up Odin. It seems like a really great language. Yes, I love it. The procedural generation algorithm is nothing special. Yeah, how does it work? I remember setting it up and I forget. I have IMGUI. Oh yeah, there's there is an IMGUI. Imagine if this opened up a whole bunch of random stuff. Yeah, I don't need to know Firefox. I do not care. IMGUI Odin. This one, I used this one at GitLab. So basically you download this whole, you clone this, and then you can run. Interestingly, I think it just worked out of the box with on Windows, but I had to run the build script when I did it on Linux. But that kind of just, you include it somewhere, and then you include it, and then you're like, yo. And it works. The cool thing, one thing I really like about Odin is, say you're in the models, right, and you're doing some like GLTF load thing. And you've got your little library, which is GLTF here. And then you're trying to figure out like, what is load buffers? And you go into this and it all looks crazy, but then they have to write these bindings out in the Odin file. And the Odin file is always kind of like a bit more readable until you get this. You're like, what is that? And you're like, data is a raw pointer. Cool. There's a buffer. and there is a buffer which is appointed to a buffer, and there's a buffer view which has a buffer which is appointed to a buffer, and this buffer view which is appointed to a buffer view which has a buffer pointer, and inside the buffer is the data which is a raw pointer, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with that? Yeah, I don't know how binding stuff work, but all I know is that they work and they're awesome. And another thing I like about Odin is, like, if you go into the if you get a bit of thing, core math, can I go to core math? To just package lineage. Man, this VS Code is killing me. General package lineage. Can I go in here? Yeah, you can go in. This is the library, and you can kind of just, it's kind of readable. Like, some of it's a bit crazy, but it actually helps to understand Odin, to read its own library, which is not the case in C++. That makes you want to quit C++ immediately. I think is a C-style array. Correct, it is. It's a multi-pointer, right? Is that what they call it in Odin? A multi-pointer. Yes, anyway, add a train. Now there's like a little train panel. I mean, I just thought I was build everything in IMGUI. So a train will go, and you'll see it'll like say, it goes through the junction, and which way are you gonna go? Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay. So to go through the junction, it'll kind of say this junction is, let's make something simpler that we'll actually demonstrate. I don't know if I was doing this on stream or not, the junctions. Maybe I already had all these trains working. So you have two rails. What do we draw? So you can now stop the train. And once it's stopped, you can pick it up, and then you can put it down over here. Add a train. I'll put another train. Oh yeah, and it'll be this one. See, it's red. It's like there's rules. You can't just put a train down on another train. I only did that yesterday, so that's all kind of new. So this, each train sort of looks at the thing. Whoa, that should have not done that. We'll see. See if they do any kind of colliding. Oh, it seems to stop. Oh yeah. I could add another train. Is that a bad idea? Put another train. Okay, so also they won't run into each other's tails. But now this one doesn't want to go here. There's a little, it gets a little complicated. Oh yeah. Bit of stopping and starting. But they've got a brain of their own, sort of. A bit of a brain. It's a hammer, yeah, exactly. It's Thor's hammer. Oh yeah, the old. Yeah, I'm trying to like my theory, my goal with these systems is like, I don't want it to be micromanagement for the player. I just want the player to kind of put it down and they resolve themselves. They're not going to be super intelligent, but at least you'll be able to do this kind of thing and be like, okay, maybe if I stop this train, maybe it's not good to put them on there, so I'll put them on another track or whatever. Another thing I was playing with is like, if I add some cars, it'll start to like, it will find its own tail and slow itself down. Once it gets into like within one cell of itself, see there, it's like, oh, and they can remove cars as well, so you could do like that. Crank up the game speed. Oh, you were taking a millisecond, but it's not. It's, you know, it's a millisecond. And then yeah, oh yeah, another new thing is a new how do I do this? There's, I think I've got a feature editor, world editor. oh yeah, here terrain, and you can put bedrock cells down. So there's the new where draw terrain cells, draw bridge cells, draw slope cells, draw rail nodes, draw tunnel nodes. So now there's like a smart-ish node generation around tunnels. So this is like, this map is like to teach the player to like build a tunnel around here. Oh, the rocks aren't quite working yet. So you got two things to manage, and this one you can't build tunnels through bedrock. There's a new core game concept. Also, this has got like a secondary thing. I'll turn off these rail nodes because they're kind of slowing the game down. So yeah, so say you like, oh yeah, I want to keep this loop tight like this, and you can put a station here, and a train. You can chuck your train down. You put a station here and a station there, and chuck your train. Or you can select the other train like that, and this very fancy UI. And then you kind of want to keep like, oh, these cars only cost 100. Oh, I see. Yeah, there's like a growth generator thingy. I'll slow down a bit. Make them faster. And then I was like, oh, at some point it becomes, you're like, oh, I can actually not fit this train around this loop. Well, it's so much cheaper to speed up the loco. What am I? I'm at double speed. We're going to more speed. He's almost at his maximum capabilities. So what happens here? Does he crash? Oh, it got close to crashing. I think it actually will crash because it's not fast. It's not, doesn't slow down quick enough. It'll go bang, and it puts all its containers back. So you're like, oh wait, maybe if I make the loop bigger, I can fit a bigger train in there. I get this guy. Oh, you should also be able to like go, boy. I wonder how fun this will actually be to be like, oh, it's coming down. He should make so much money, and these trains are getting faster and faster. There's even like a kilometers per hour that they're going. Whoa, that's a fast train, man. Oh, have I made it too long? It's mad. Maybe I made them a little too fast. What happens if I put it like 8? It's stable though, the stability. Alright, level cleared. How fast are we going here? Half speed. We've also got like a custom time scale slowerizer. Hey, 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 hey. What, the fast trains? Bzz, 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 bzz. Yeah. What's mega? Oh, yeah. Yep. There's also rivers now. I don't know if I showed this on stream. You can actually make rivers that go down like waterfalls. So rivers connect the same way that rail connects. So what it does is now the rail nodes have been replaced with river nodes, so you can no longer, like, you can only go across the rivers like this. Can I connect up to here? I can if I make... For some reason tunnels only work one way. Or they don't. Why you no work for me? For some reason there's 10 trains in this level. Stack. Put a stack there. Yeah, the trains. It's hyper realistic. Rain's coming down. What time are we at? 11. Yeah, we're all good. How long's the stream been live for? Whoa, there it is. Error. 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 Oh yeah, 41 mins. Yeah, I got trees. So yeah, a good chunk of the alright, we've finally got like a world directional gizmo thing, which isn't very helpful. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at. It is Odin. We are Odinification of the world. We're having a nice time with Odin. I always thought Odin would be good. Oh yeah, some of this stuff, this byte reader ended up being like world serializer. This thing's kind of cool. It's like, I had a little bit of, I did confer with AI a little bit on this, I gotta say, but basically there's a header. Most of the stuff isn't actually used, and then there are these chunk types, and then I assign some amount of size to these chunks. So these chunks are like fixed size, and they hold some data and some size and what type they are. And then we go through the grid and we save the grid as just bytes. And we actually save the rail nodes as well. Although some of the stuff I've been experimenting. We save the stacks. We save like all of the containers in 1 bytes. And then we write the trunk down the stacks. And then when we go to load, like the grid load cells from bytes. It used to just like copy the bytes in, but there's a bit of initialization of the cells doing that correctly. But like the stacks, cargo stack load all containers. Oh yeah, this is another one. There's like versioning, and then it just sort of copies the containers in. Which is kind of cool. It's fast. It's a little bit more annoying to deal with, but no JSON, you know. But I'm trying to be less like bad about writing bad, just generally bad things to get it working or whatever. But then every time you take a couple of weeks off and you come back and be like, wait, what's happening? Oh, cargo. Oh yeah, the cargo, like in the world, when it loads the cargo in, it kind of adds them all to targets that the player is trying to meet. The legend, the man, the chosen one. How are? We've gone pretty data heavy. We're fully back ending the. Sounds bad. But how much money we got? Oh yeah, and it's got a little thing down here. That's sort of like how many cargoes you need to deliver to finish the level and how much currency you got. All this kind of placeholder UI stuff. I don't know how to do the UI still. I don't know how that's going to work. But, you know, technically playable-ish. Oh, also, this is all debug builds as well. Go away world editor. Oh yeah, so game, I've just been focusing on the game and the systems versus the renderer this time around. Fixing how the game works, how the trains work, how you can like have multiple trains on the tracks and they like know about each other and they sort of slow down and avoid each other, and there's junctions. And they kind of register themselves on the track and they won't go ahead unless there's a way forward. You can upgrade them and you can add cars and stuff. Oh, it's all pretty technical actually. So it's kind of like working towards this. The trains manage themselves and the player just kind of tries to build a network that's as effective as possible. I was thinking instead of like in the first version there was going to be like you had trains of different types. Now like you have a train and it starts out like a steamer, and then when you hit upgrade on the locomotive, it turns into like a diesel train or something, and then it turns into an electric train, and then it turns into, it's just like a visual representation of getting faster and more horsepower or whatever. What's kind of funny is if you keep expanding these trains and if I stop one of them and then start it again, they'll be like, now they're out of sync, and they'll kind of like, this one will catch up to that one, or maybe it won't, maybe it'll just be perfect. But every time it sees the other train, it slows down a bit, and then they eventually like space themselves out evenly, so they become efficient. Yeah, I've played I remember playing Factorio and being like, I have no idea how the trains work. It's like looking things up online. I want it to be the opposite of that. It's very cool, don't get me wrong. Factorio is like the coolest game ever. But I kind of want this to be like someone goes into a world and they go like, oh, I just draw rail, and that's my whole job, is just to draw rail. And then they might go, oh no, I need to delete some rail. I would draw some rail over here. And then when it comes to trains, I put a train, world editor. This is all, a lot of this is backend stuff. I put a train down and it does what it does. And then you go, oh, maybe I'll put another train through here. Maybe that's a good idea. And then you find out it's a bad idea. And it's kind of, your job is just to build rail networks that work. And like, it's not like a fail state kind of thing. Like you may get yourself into trouble, but eventually you'll get there, but then there'll be bonuses for getting there more effectively or whatever, you know? They can collide with themselves, not each other, but it's very unlikely that they do. I think I can make it crash with itself. Oh yeah, that's going to be a thing where you're like, So this train here, oh see, I went through it. Interesting. Why didn't it? There's a million edge cases. Let's be real. Interesting. When I push stop, it kind of removed itself from the junction. Figure out how to solve the internet connection problems. No, someone said it in the chat. Just move back to the city, which is exactly what we did. So yeah, the country life didn't work out. Country life didn't. Oh, maybe I'll turn off this thing. It's probably pretty juicy. Revised stills. You can see the country life. There's chili beans in the country. Ooh. Yeah. The place, like, I don't know, man. It was a weird situation, and it was really hard living out in the country. And we realized that when we have the baby, it's gonna just get harder. So we bailed on that idea. Girl, but yeah. Oh yeah, we're missing dog cam. Sorry, this is just a forward front. Let me find the chili beans. That was chilly like a week ago, and this is chilly now. I just go, hello, Poopa. Look at this doggy. Oh, what did I do? Oh, where are we? No, Beansy, come back. Go away, this thing. Chili beans, come back here. She's so cute now. She's so cute. She sees herself. Who's that? Dear, what do you see? What do you see, Beansy? What do you see, Beansy? Oh, the chat's a bit bodgy. And so's the camera. Oh, she's a good girl. They gave her these like fluffy legs. Hey, Beansy. Do you see another doggy? Oh, shit. Yeah. Do you see another doggy? Do you see a doggy? She's like, never that dog. Yo, what's going on with these headphones? Oh, they're just gone quiet. Beansy, you need your teeth cleaned. I didn't tell her mum that I was grooming her, so she literally looks like she looked like this a few days ago, like a little flipper. Hey, Beansy. Oh, I'm still in the big mode. I know. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like herself. Yeah. It's you, Chili Beans. I know you had a bad haircut, but don't worry. We'll get rid of him. Sorry, just annoying the dog for stream purposes. Good girl, Beatsy. Igor, what's up? Sticking to C++ due to hot reload. Alexis, the last C++ warden. The last warden of C++. If I made this 15 by 15 by 15, would have generated a big world. Oh yo, there's a bit of clipping issues going on. There's a hot reload in Odin, yeah. What's his name? Let's make a nice little world. I don't know, put some rivers in here or something. Dee da do 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 do. Beautiful. And some trees. Lovely, and some rocks. Oh my. Does rocks... If I do this, it's going to be... I'm still doing it in 2 milliseconds. It's pretty good. Scenic railways. Oh yeah, there's bridge building. Beep. And now there's like another type of cell, which is a bridge cell. I'm sure you'll care about that. Yeah. Oh, are you going to be streaming? Can trains go vertical? Well, they can't go vertical in the real world, so... What happens here? Can I... Oh yeah, see? We can do sort of these kind of thingamabobs. And now there's also this thing called a slope cell. So it builds a cell there, so it lets me know that I can't like build a slope through a slope kind of thing. You know what I mean? See the blue vertical line? It's not a train line. No, there's a rivers. So the rivers are like editor features, so I can create a river like this. Yeah, there is a rule to say, hey, we can build a river vertically. It's going to be like a waterfall. And these basically make it so you can't build rail there. You can do things like this, like go across them. You can't build into the tree world. You can build like across them like this. So it's like a puzzle mechanic and a visual feast. So we have a nice something that is both in the world but adds to the puzzle depth of having rivers that you can't cross. You must flow like water. Why is that? Oh yeah. What else have we done? Oh yeah, there's little save load options. So for example, when you add stacks, say, oh yeah, there's fun stack things like add rainbows. Stacks are now infinite. Stacks are now whatever you want them to be. I think they just grow. They're just dynamic arrays. But they are like they have like initialized stack offsets, stack rows, stack columns, so that they pre-calculate like a matrices. Is it matrices? Vector 3s. We create these like a one base layer, and then when we need to create an instance, we just put one where it is in the thing and then multiply it by the height of the layer or whatever. But they take 0 time to render, because that's even the debug cubes are instanced. So all these, and that's drawing 2 cubes for every cube. It's drawing the outline cube and the other cube. How's your current source code line count and your compile times? Oh, that was interesting, because I wanted to tell you that. Is when we first started, the compile time was half a second, And now that I've been working on it for a few months, the compile time is half a second. So it hasn't changed. The program's not that big. What's the source code? Count lines. 11,000 lines. 15,000 total. No, 11,000 lines of actual code, I think. So it's pretty fast. And there is also, so I got, this is a debug build. The slow one is the release build. There's minimal. I'll stop this. So there's a minimal build that takes half a second, and this has minimal optimizations, which is faster than the debug build, obviously. And then there's the release build, which is, if I look at the build, I think, oh yeah, there's a build.sh now. I was learning about, we put in the speed optimizations. Yes. This is release, and this takes some time. That takes 4 seconds to do a release build, but I don't build to release, because most of the time, if you want to test, that only gives you a little speed up. Minimal does almost as much. Most of the time in debug, then minimal if you want to test, and then release when you want to release. Yeah, so minimal is the recommended for regular testing. Release is for like some reason you want to actually send it to somebody or something. But these two, the debug and the minimal, are like, yeah, half a second. Pretty fast, and it builds the whole thing every time. Wait, why does it take more time to compile than debug? Yeah, because it does heavy optimizers. Also, you can only like step through the debugger in the debug build. You need this debug flag. And optimizations need to be none, I'm pretty sure. But the difference, like, it's not like C++. The difference between debug and... oh, I had a little thing. I wonder if it's still in here. Oh yeah, this iteration speed test. This was me wondering, like, what's the difference between iterating over a hash map and a dynamic array? So if I put true, it's a dumb test, but all it does is create a bunch of stuff and then adjust the values inside of it. It creates one object which has a position, rotation, and scale, and then it does this, you'll see. So this is like there it was. That was it doing its test. Iteration test. So count 1, count 32, count 124, and count 1 million. So it's a debug, daisy trains build type debug. And you know, it took 18 milliseconds to iterate and modify 1 million values in a map where it only took 6 milliseconds. So it's 3 times speed. But this is the debug build. I might just grab these. This is a funny little test for fun. And the minimal one seems to be, the array was faster, the map was the same, a little bit. It's not a huge difference. And then the release build. Nah, don't bother with hot reload. I'm a filthy pleb. Oh yeah, that's quite a lot faster, the release build. It's quite a lot faster, the release build. 3 times faster. But this is where I was like, the question was like, if you're organizing your data into arrays, type packed arrays, and then you've got a map to look up elements of indexing, at what point is that worth it? Because it depends. Does your thing have 1024 or less things? Or even like 32 things, then it's not worth it. But that one count 1, it took longer for the array. Interesting. I don't know. I ended up doing this kind of map to array situation quite a lot. Yeah. Things like river tiles. Oh yeah, this was a convoluted way of, oh yeah, river tile, and then a river tile has multiple rivers, and then the river link, and then you look them up through a link key. Yeah. Yeah. It all depends on what it is you're trying to do. But yeah, you get into this thing where you want to, oh, not a river, that's a bad thing, but just doing an unordered remove of the actual data, and then you got to remap the index or whatever the lookup is. So it's a bit of fluffing about, and it's a bit confusing, but recently crossed 152,000 lines. Yeah. How's that affect your build times? Do you think on a larger code base like that, like doing incremental builds or whatever is helpful for that kind of thing? It's funny that Jai, they do their 300,000 line thing in like 1 second or something. Seems good. I used Linux. I even did this. I mean, I didn't really do this. I got taught how to do this similar stuff. Linux is funny, like from someone who's never used Linux. And I was using Omachi, and it was pretty cool. I was like, oh yeah, it made a lot of sense. It's like I had to get Odin going, and it was like, oh, the build steps for Linux. I was like, oh yeah, true. And it was giving me errors like, oh, you're missing some C++ thing or something. And I was like, oh yeah, I was able to kind of figure it out on the command line and be like, yeah. But if I'm being honest, Linux is a bit easy to use with like ChatGPT or something, because you're like, what does this mean? It's like, oh yeah, no, you just go on the command line, you hook up one of these and one of those, and you're like, oh okay, yeah. Otherwise it's just like I remember trying it a few years back and just being like in forum hell going, how do people do it? You just got to either know it or you don't know it. I recently Super PC is at 12 seconds. Hot reload is what gets used. Linux is nasty. Watching the stream from Linux, yeah. Well, and the cool thing about Omachi was like I created a theme that was basically this, and it applies it to the whole operating system. I was like, that's pretty cool. I can see why it's like cool to use for lots of stuff. For like, I even set it up so I could have like this is the same, they're using the same repo, and it will detect. I think I set it up in VS Code because I was like, learning Linux is one thing, but learning Vim as well as Linux was just like too much for my little brain. I was learning a little bit to do config files and stuff, but then I set up VS Code, and it kind of, I think the tasks, yeah, it'll launch the different builder. So this project is cross-platform technically. And Odin, honestly, to get it to build in Linux was like, there was one thing that needed building in IMGUI, all it needed was this IMGUI Linux 64.a. I think it just needed to build that. And then it had a couple of things that needed to be like packages that with C++ standard library or something. But honestly, it was like 10-20 minutes to get daisy train, and then daisy train just, and it opened in one of those, in what do we call it, tiling window manager, and you could like move it around. And there was one thing that needed changing so that the mouse ray was correct to the size of the window, which you could resize and everything. I think I've got some footage. Game dev daisy trains. Daisy trains 2025 December. Was it this stuff? I was screen capping some stuff. Oh yeah, I went back and like. Because I didn't really I didn't screen cap any of this process, but I just like loaded all the different repos. I mean the different commits into, I think I got them in here in this history, yeah. So all the different commits, and then just ran them and screen capped a bit of that. But some of it I did on Linux, I think. I was like, oh yeah, the workflow is pretty sweet. And then after a while, you're like, oh, something gets annoying. There's always something that gets annoying. This wiggly stuff. I think it was when I got to the trains or something. Also, it was like, oh, it screen caps in a different color space. So it's like, the Hyperland thing changes the color space. You're like, dude, why would you do that, man? Oh, now we're back in Windows. Some of this like, oh yeah, and then you like do something and the IMGUI windows go out of the frame and you're like, where is everything? Now what do I do? Where is it? What do we got? Watching a stream. I'm using a map for finding font kerning values. Thought binary searching array would be fast. It was not. Odin's map is quite fast. Depends on your problem. Yeah. At some point it's like, oh, just store it in a map and don't worry about it, man. I mean, depends. I use linear arrays for my kerning. I'm actually goes tiling Windows root. If you like that, it's superior, but if you don't, no, yeah. Yeah. i3 window manager and nothing else. Yeah. I mean, once you use this stuff, you're like, hey man, this is still pretty cool. Why am I clicking my mouse like an absolute savage? It looks like, I don't know whether I kept any of those. Oh yeah, here we go. This looks like it. Yeah, there you go. See? Terminal is like there. Best Linux OBS format. Oh, get my WhatsApps in there. That's always good. Yeah, you can zip these zips. Pretty sweet. I couldn't believe how it just worked. Like all the GLFW and IMGUI and everything just immediately worked, and all the frame size callbacks and everything are fine. Bzz, 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 bzz. Oh yeah, I had this level that said daisy trains, which is now broken because it doesn't work on the what's it called? I hate Linux so much. There are only two kinds of OS. OS people hate and OS nobody use. The lack of dev tools. Yeah, at first you're like, everything's harder, and then you're like, oh, this is a different way of thinking about it. I mean, I don't really know. Like, what are you even using the command line for? And then once you're in there, you're like, oh yes, do the command line. Yeah, it makes sense. I had this little thing going over here. I like the file browser, it was nice. what did I have to do? In every one I had to run the build. Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. Anyway, I have where we at with notes and whatnot. We don't have any actual programming. I've gotten to this point where like it's time to maybe start writing the renderer, figure out instancing, get some graphics going. Everyone loves graphics. Just takes getting used to. That applies to everything. A good native debugger, a good UI for a native debugger, Live++ hot reload for Linux. I like our lazy git. That was pretty cool. I still don't really use GitHub. I mean Git very like other than commit and push and pull. What do we got going on here? Got to get the house nice and ready because Lou's coming down and she hasn't really even been here. I like set up the whole house, trying to make it nice. She's super pregnant. Where's the other big boy? How you doing, big boy? Hey, big buddy, what are you doing down here? Yeah. I might try streaming from Linux at some point. We'll see how we go. Oh, I did something else that was like hilariously stupid. I don't even want to. Also missing IDE with great IntelliSense. VS Code, man. I'm actually like, I don't know. I'm just so used to it now. Like all I need is like this, rename globally something, and the ability to like, I don't know why that shortcut sometimes stops working. I'm sure Vim can do all these things, but Vim is honestly like, again, like restarting your brain and being like, don't touch the arrow keys. Why would you ever touch it? I'm like, I've got like up and down to the end of things and select words and select lines and multi-cursors, all this stuff like baked in. It's like, no, you don't touch any of that. J is up. Is it? I don't even know. H and L. You're like, don't worry, just don't think about up, down, left, right. Think about H, J, K, L. Odin support plugin for JetBrains IDE. Oh yeah. That can you get, what's the one called? IDEA, IntelliJ IDEA. Does that work on Linux? Oh, this is good. This is good content. Chat arguing about debuggers, operating systems, and languages. It's how we get engagement. While I sit here and drink coffee. I like that interview where John Carmack was like, a lot of companies, people are hostile to the hostile about the debuggers, and he's like, what do you mean by hostile? And he's like, I don't use debuggers. I'm like, what are you doing that doesn't require a debugger? Although, to be fair, once you get like the whole of this editor and stuff, once you got like enough debuggability, visual debugging inside the app, that then you've got like, then you're on your way. I find I just draw spheres and stuff everywhere, like the train draws this like future path and all this. Meanwhile on Windows I'm writing my game while sitting inside a debugger, hot reloading. He's ascended. What's the fastest speed? Oh yeah, I can go fast now though. Also the all the like rail, like there's an advantage. I was going to discuss this in the video, but there's this advantage to like working without graphics. Like all these we got line drawing, plane drawing, and Bezier curve drawing. Like before the add a train. The train, like, whoa, I think we're going a little too fast. Oh no. I not numbered myself. Pick up, can I put it back down? Oh, I killed myself. Add a train. You there, the strange one. All the like these curves that the train moved along was based on some arbitrary art asset, but because there's no art, you kind of just calculate, okay, how big is the train, what is the actual unit scale, what is a curve you want to work with, what looks right, and then you can build your art assets off of that. I think is a better way around. Oh, this is game dev versus web dev. It's turning spicy. It's 12. I gotta leave in a couple of hours. I might. Yeah, I always wondered that. Why are game devs not? Yeah. Incrementally slow. They should approach zero but never get there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, guys, it just can't, I mean, things gotta work for the individual, the project, whatever. There's a lot of ways to do things. Any kind of like polarizingness isn't gonna be super constructive. Like the idea of like C++ versus Odin or whatever. It's like kind of a silly thing because I couldn't appreciate Odin. Like I couldn't even really understand what the point of it was without going through the process of like learning all that other stuff to be like, oh, I see why they did it. I understand like what are the use cases, what are the problems they're trying to solve, what are the like pain points that are frustrating. I was enjoying using C++. I felt quite like free, but then now that I look at the conciseness of like, do I still have this? Some of the, I don't know. There's a lot of like, there's a lot of like. It has stuff. It has a lot of baggage, right? It has a lot of baggage. What am I planning on doing next? Well, my next milestone is to like continue working on this thing because like it's taken a back seat to like regular work, life stuff. So I want to carry on, but the goal really what I really want to do, my aim is to make some levels and some gameplay progression stuff. So some levels that you can play and go, oh yeah, this is how you make a train, or you can upgrade your train and make it faster. The goal is to figure out how to get this cargo from here to here, develop like a set of levels that increase in complexity and use the mechanics of the game, and create like a semi-stable, goals are good, a stable gameplay experience. And this is to like test for fun, for, you know, I guess the, what do you call it, the progression. And at some point, like, so every time you add a feature, like I added rivers, then in the world serializer, now you need to add support for river loading and saving. And then you're like, did I just break all the old levels? How far are we going ahead before we like create some issue where we got to remake all the levels? Trying to like mitigate that as much as possible. And then I was going to do this without doing the renderer, but I think maybe the renderer, so it looks nice. Looks nice. This is big though. This is going to take some time. Yeah, basically I'd like to have like a maybe a set of levels for like people in the Discord or something that they can play and be like, this game sucks, what are you doing? You spent so long and you've got like half a unfinished prototype. Or be like, yeah, cool. Or discovery, I don't know. And then some sort of alpha demo. And then that would go into like a, shucks, I don't know. Yeah, some sort of alpha demo. Not worrying too much. Like I'll use IMGUI for the UI for now. Do you have a level migration code? Put a version. Yeah. There is like, there is a world version, and there is some version stuff within some of the loading things. Also, there's this chunk, so if I added a new thing, I could just add another chunk, and it should just append it to the end. And still, like, the main thing that'll kill these things is by changing these sizes, which I've already had to do, which maybe, I mean, there's no perfect solution, is there? But yeah, the versioning thing, yeah. So you could like load an older version. There is in the cargo thing. There's like, it does come in through here and say if version do this. So some versioning thing. Load a V1, load it, yeah, exactly, and then save in current version. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah, you're right. These kind of like structural things I'm not super good at, but I'm starting to develop them. But I think like a lot of some of the core mechanics are in there. I'm just actually like focused, yeah, playing the game and being like, oh, you shouldn't be able to put a train on top of another train. Yeah, put that in there. Okay, and then like, the whole junctions and stuff. And then now it's like finding out what is the interesting puzzle mechanics of like, get that one to there, get that stuff over there, this one's got to be put here temporarily, and then what kind of fun stuff we can find. Actual game design stuff. While keeping it kind of simple. See how far we can go with as few things as possible, and then see what needs to be added. But yeah, I'd like to have something playable, or maybe just carry on, man, endlessly building renderers and whatnot. What do we got? Oh, I can just have it on live chat like that. But it's been good to be back. I hope the stream has worked. Definitely the internet's better. Maybe my settings have been a bit bodgy. But yeah, I think just try and manage, manage life and get, make sure all the things are ready for the baby, and then maybe shorter streams, but more often or something. I don't know, like today. Doesn't say how. This is like an hour and a half. That's good. I only wanted to do like an hour or so. But it's been good to see everybody in here, even if there's been a bit of spiciness. Still good to see you all. And then stay tuned. Stay tuned. Keep working on your things. Hope everyone's good in the new year. Making the most. Tanker reactions. What's you got another? What's your other? I don't know why the names are like that. Do you have another name in the past? David Delassus. Holding the line. Hold the line. No. Okay. Oh. Oh, good to see everybody. It was the next one. Trademark, won't be a million years, hopefully. Peace out, everybody.